Hi everybody, thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Sukhi from the LivingBig Coaching Academy and NLPskillsmastery.com. Now, I am the new person that's joined the team with Paul Vernon and Johnny Ball, and to be honest with yourself, I'm really very excited to be in part of the team that we can actually now sort of bring all of our thoughts and processes together to try and create the complete business academy and coaching academy, specifically around the life coaches and coaching therapies fraternity. Now, to the point, as I'm very well known to be, and obviously based around the provocative theories and therapies that we are actually promoting on the 13th, 14th and 15th of August, which is only next month, I'd like to turn around and say, firstly, I'm very happy and honoured to be a part of this elite crack team, and we are now looking for coaches which we want to bring on board and very highly train within all the skill bases that are within the coaches. And we are now going to be giving a business model, which is a tried and tested business model, to start bringing people into proper capital flow from being a little bit cash poor right now into slowly moving themselves forward with our training and courses as they come across, and moving into the future, becoming far more stable and established with the money comes in when the money comes in. Now, the coaching academy itself, the LivingBig idea, is specifically to support us coaches, basically, on every single level. So if we can imagine being in front of a client where you're trying to stop them from smoking, and maybe you've tried a couple of techniques from the past which you've tried before, and you've got yourself in a position where you're kind of thinking, how am I going to actually make this be a bit more powerful and actually have good return on your own time, that is. What you can be able to do is soon you'll be going online with a blogging system, which is where we're going in the future to create the LivingBig Coaching Academy. And what you'll have is you'll have your own user identification, a bit like the Facebook environment, like a chatbot scenario, but very exclusive. So you'll be sitting there tapping your query in online, and other established individuals and part of the team in the fraternity will turn around and tap in their answer towards you and say, have you tried this particular technique? We've had a very good result in the past, and you'll then be able to carry that forward and flip it into the future and say, well, I've got this now. This is the way we're going to go forward and how I can get this going. So that's the kind of support we'll be offering on knowledge, on basis, backup basis on individuals who can help. Obviously, us three professionals in the top end are actually the master trainers, which will be at hand throughout this period of time as well. Now, what the LivingBig is really about at the current moment is to teach you about a business process that actually works. Instead of having to be stuck trying to make ends meet out of not a lot of money, £35–50 an hour, will teach you a prepaid process which will allow yourself to be more valued, and more importantly for you to have more profound changes within your client base. Now, without taking too much of your time, because obviously I'm aware this is actually an online seminar, I'd like you to turn around and just cast your mind back of possibly what actually got you into the coaching arena in the first place. For me, basically, it was about changing lives, ensuring how others can change. Now, in my history, if I can just share with you, I was a multimillionaire at the age of 25, a millionaire at 21. So I've been involved in business quite some time, and I believe I've got quite a good track history to be able to say I've recovered companies and firms, from the brink of not being from brink of annihilation, and bring them back to life as well as ran very successful businesses through my time within 20 different sectors of industry. Now, the point being, I've brought all of that information with me and knowledge, and I'm now going to bring it forward for yourself so you can actually take control and actually take this established, extrapolated information and control your own businesses in a much more secure and profound way. Our provocative theories themselves actually give a very strong insight into how you can halve your time, and also really to increase your charges as well to a fair level. You're not going to rip anybody off, and that's the honest truth. Because with ourselves, Paul, myself, and Johnny, we're very key on establishing honour, integrity within the industry. Now, those are some of our keystones. The point that I actually have had a lot of interviews with individuals, and I'm trying to get this clear to everybody else, just so this is a view that I have, that a lot of my friends who are from the actual coaching industries have actually got themselves coming back from a very strong, powerful, financially sound background, maybe in a professional organisation, and they've kind of moved toward trying to help individuals to try and change their own life by learning themselves as well. Now, the point that I'm trying to point across here is that usually these people have some kind of a good sort of safety net of financials that they can rely on, so hence allowing them to retrain in a brand new career of coaching and training. Now, you can spend 6 months, most of this tends to be, spending 6 months of your time sitting there trying to refocus and retrain, and the latter half of 6 months trying to practice on your friends, charging them no money at all, but just becoming, a bit more accustomed to the training techniques themselves. And then the next 6 months, which is kind of from 12 months to 18 months, you tend to think, well, hang on, I better start earning some money here, because obviously this is not the way forward if I'm going to eat into my savings to try and sustain myself. So you start charging £35, £50 an hour, and possibly, not really making a lot of money, to be really honest with yourself. Trying to do an hour or a 45-minute session ended up being a 3-hour session, spending a lot of time and effort, because of lack of experience and in some cases, but in a lot of cases is that understanding or the distinction to be able to say, no, okay, right, that's enough, got the information, let me put this stuff aside and let's now work on all that stuff and bring it into the future in a very new, powerful way, like a clear, concise ways to try and actually go through the therapy processes, to try and eliminate and move some modalities, change some sub-modalities, etc. After about 6 months, now here's where it kind of gets a bit funny, I suppose. After about 6 months on further, between 18 and 24 months thereabouts, you spend a couple of 3 months being quite broke, to be honest with yourself. The reserves have gone, everything is now, bills starting to pile up, red sort of like lights starting to flash in your eyes, and you're kind of see, all these overdue payments and stuff just turning up on the desks. Finding yourself probably close to CCJs that are coming on your account, which will then in future mess up the credit ratings. And around about the 20 months, 21 months, 24 months, that sort of time frame, people tend to sort of like go, I've had enough of this industry, I can't make money at it, I better go back to what I was doing in the past. So, cutting a long story short, what have we done? We've lost a completely awesome individual who could have changed a lot of nice details and lives out there to really sort of like make an adjustment with people. But not to take too much of your time on that, but it's a very key point that this is the kind of thing we're trying to save. So we've created new therapies, new techniques, new knowledge, and new business processes, and amalgamated them all to try and future-proof everybody's coaching business. Now we're here also on a one-on-one to actually take any phone calls, so please do log on to NLP Skills Mastery at any time and send an email through to Johnny, Paul or myself, and we'll do our best to get back to you with the information and any questions that arise. Also on Facebook, which is obviously Facebook.com/NLP Skills Mastery, there is a blog now starting to work, so please do write some stuff down if there's any of this information has been helpful or more importantly has changed your life. So what I'm aiming to do now is if I can just touch quickly on what the Living Big concept will do for you. The Living Big concept is now going to become a coaching academy. We're in the middle of trial basis on the online systems. The business model itself is tried and tested. It gives people prepayments, it gives people guaranteed payments in advance, and once a month a statement to give you full payment control of your money. Now, have you ever been in a position where you're thinking, well, how can I invoice my client? Or what do I invoice? Which business do I need to have a business partnership set up? Do we need a limited company, etc., 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 or should I just continue trading as a sole trader? These are the questions that we can easily answer for you. Now, we're planning a very strong seminar around this in the future coming in September. We're also taking our current teaching therapies into Dublin in September as well. So I'll keep you posted, just keep logging back onto this line and finding out from NLP Skills Mastery how it's progressing. We will give you a business model which will not only be prepaid, it will also be quite lucrative for yourself because it's an honour and it's respectful that you feed yourself before you can help others. As Lincoln clearly stated, there is no point being poor to try and help the poor. In order to help the poor, I do apologise, I'll just recorrect that, you must not become one yourself.